career-themed course registry. What does this mean? Every course that you teach, say you're teaching Agri-Technology 1, and you want to offer industry certification in that course, we register it with the Florida Department of Education. These career-themed courses are specific to each school and you, the teacher, based on what course and CAPE industry certification is being offered. They're renewed annually, so we have to do this process every year. And if you want to see what industry certifications are being offered across the entire state and our own district, they're all listed in Appendix FF, which is linked in the presentation. And why do we do all this? Because they have to be registered in a career-themed course to be eligible for CAPE funding, College and Career Acceleration, and also the teacher bonus. There is a 1-year lag between when a student certification is earned and when you get the teacher bonus. Why is there a 1-year lag? Well, that's because we report these all at the end of the year during the summer, and then the funding doesn't come out until around April the next year. So there's no way we can fund an industry certification in the year that it was earned. So if you earned if your students earned industry certifications last year, then you will see the bonus this year sometime in April, most likely. There are 2 weights for how much the teacher bonus. If your cert is a 0.1 weight, it's worth $25 per student per certification. And then if it's a 0.2 weight, it's worth $50 per certification for teacher bonus. If you want to see the weight of the industry certification you're offering, they're all on the CAPE funding list. So this is new this year. Our process so far has been to enter all this information into Google Sheets and then transfer that information from Google Sheets into Focus. We are shifting this year to go directly into Focus with this new form, the industry cert form for teachers, which you can find in Focus. If you go on the left-hand side, you have your little gray bar with all your different options. There's a tab for forms. It's going to be right under there. So this is what the form looks like. There are 3 different types of fields. There are auto-populating fields, drop-down fields, and there are required fields, which you see here in red. And we're going to go over each type of field. So the auto-populating fields. When you create a new form, a new request, these fields will have the information automatically. The title, which will have the current date, the school, which will have your school, year, which auto-populates as 2025, and the instructor, which will obviously be your name. So the first step you're going to do when you make a new request is you're going to rename the request title. It auto-populates with the current date, which is not a very unique title if you're going to put in 20 students who tested at once. And you will see the title of the form when you look in your drafts or your history. And if you tested them on 3/26 and you see that 20 times, how are you supposed to know which request is which? So we suggest renaming them with the student's name, what cert it was, and the attempt number. So you can see immediately when you look in your drafts or your history what requests, what information attempt you were putting in. The second type of field is the drop-down fields, which these, once you've filled in those, you have those auto-populated fields, you're going to start from left to right. You're going to select the student based off what you select in the student field. You'll see what courses they have that you have. You can select from there, and based off the course, the program code will populate. And then you can select what CTE cert you are offering. And then the red fields, you're wondering, why are these fields in red, the scary red, compared to all the normal fields? These fields require teacher input. So they're not going to auto-populate. There's not a drop-down. You have to put the value in there. The required fields are date reporting, date earned, exam attempt, certification outcome, and cert link. So the cert link field is the others are, you just put in the date you're reporting it, what date did the student take the certification, did they pass or fail, what exam attempt is it, is it 1, 2, or 3, all kind of self-explanatory, but this field's a little trickier. If the student passed their certification, for audit record, we need, the CTE department needs a copy of their certification on file, which you have to upload to this form. How are you going to upload it? Under the cert link field, there's the secured CTE folder. You're going to click that link to upload the certification. So you're gonna click the link, and it's going to take you to a folder which has a folder for each school. We've several times covered that there's 5 different steps you have to take to complete the policies and procedures. Once you complete all of those policies and procedures, you've signed the statement of educational integrity, you've uploaded your certification to the intent form, you've attended training either in person or by watching this video recording, and then you've taken the policies and procedures quiz with 100%. And remember, at the end of the quiz, you have to check your score. And then if it's not 100, you have to take the quiz again until you get a 100. Once you've done those 5 things, then we will add in your school's folder. There will be a folder directly for you. That folder will not be created until you've completed all the CTE policies and procedures. But once you do, it's as easy as you go to your school's folder, you click up your name, and then you can just drag and drop or right click to upload a copy of the student's industry certification. And then I know this is a question we get every year. Do I have to upload them individually? No. If you test 20 students on one date, you can get a PDF of all those 20 kids, and you can, once you've uploaded that PDF with those 20 kids in it, you can keep linking that certification, that PDF with all those certifications in it. So you can keep reusing that link. But I do ask that you limit them to one day. So if you've got kids testing today and kids testing tomorrow, please have them in a different PDF. How are you going to get the link for the field? You hover over the certification, or you can click the little 3 dots, the ellipsis off to the side, and you're going to click copy link. You're going to use that link and you're going to paste it into the cert link field. And then, okay, so what do I do with this required field if the student did not pass? You can just enter NA into the field. And so I'm moving through this pretty fast. The instructions based on the outcome you select, pass or fail in the dropdown, it will tell you the directions for what steps you need to take next, whether to enter NA or to upload the cert. Those instructions will be on the form itself, depending on what certification outcome you select. And reminder again, to get your folder that you have access to in your school's folder, because you won't have access to any of the other folders that you can edit and upload certifications, you have to do all these things. And then if you go to leeschools.net/CTE and click on the industry certification information tab, all those things are there. And then I'm going to also add a list for who's done what in the secured folder. So you can see for your school, what piece am I missing? Like, did I not do the quiz? Have I not done the intent form? If you go to the secured folder, you're going to be able to tell what step am I missing to get my own folder. This form is a request to add this information to a student's profile. And because it's a request, it has to be verified. And during the verification process, it can be rejected. Why would it be rejected? Well, simply put, the information you put doesn't match the name, doesn't match any of the information that's on the certification. The student name does not match the name on the cert. The record is going to be rejected. And I know they're not identical. In Focus, there is a nickname field for students who prefer not to go by their legal name. If in the nickname field matches the name on the cert, that is also acceptable. If the date earned doesn't match the date and you put in the form, if the cert you put in, let's say project management ready, but on the form you put it was ESB. If the cert doesn't match the cert uploaded, then the form would be rejected. Or if I click on the link in the cert link field and it doesn't work, that also would cause a record to be rejected. When your request is rejected, it will reappear under the drafts tab. And that is why we asked you to uniquely name them, because if you go in there and just see a bunch of dates, you're going to be like, what the heck is this? But if you see it was John Doe who did an ESB exam, it was their second attempt, you can say, oh, I need to look for John Doe's past record. What information am I looking for that exam attempt? You can amend, you can re-edit this request and then resubmit it. Be sure, so if you enter all this information into Focus, don't just never check it again. Within 2 weeks, come back and look in your drafts and see if you have any rejected records. If these requests are not verified, they will not be entered into the student's profile and they will not count for CAPE funding, college and career acceleration, or teacher bonus. So remember to come back to your drafts and make sure within 2 weeks of any submissions that all of your requests have been accepted.
Just to add on, remember, this is the first time we're presenting this to everyone. I know it's a lot of steps, a lot of different things that you're thinking you're having to do. I do think it will flow in the end, and I think you'll be fine with regard to being able to do it. We're recording this so you can go back and reference it. You got the PowerPoint, but also we'll be sending out reminders about some of these things throughout the year, about going back and check your rejected records and things like that. We're gonna try to really help you with this process, but just wanted to reiterate the fact that yes, this is the first time you're seeing this, and you'll have to actually go through the steps to really have a great understanding of how it's going to help you in the long run.
Okay, in addition to rejected records, there's another kind called denied records. And these records, so rejected records can be amended and resubmitted and count for the funding and the bonus and the CCA. Denied records don't meet some kind of statutory requirement, and for the purposes of reporting are invalidated and will not be recorded on the student's profile. Reasons that they could be denied is you didn't wait the 3 weeks. Remember, 3 weeks between testing dates. Always check on your calendar, 3 weeks. If the exam attempt is 4 or greater, students are only allowed 3 exam attempts. So if they pass on their 4th try, doesn't count for reporting. If it's the wrong exam version, on the CAPE funding list, they specify for some of the exams what exam version is valid for CAPE funding. For example, for ESB, it's version 0.2. There's a universal version that somehow students sometimes get access to. If they're tested on that version, it does not count for CAPE funding. And then if the course and the certification are not part of a career-themed course, again, they're not eligible for reporting, so they would also be denied. And sometimes there are 2 different windows for career-themed course registration. As long as your course is scheduled to be registered as a career-themed course, that still counts. So like I said, denied records, they don't meet some kind of statutory requirement, so they are not eligible for CAPE funding, teacher bonus, or college and career acceleration. The history of all your requests can be found under history, and it will show you the status of each request, whether it's pending, denied, or approved.